Hello everyone, welcome to the channel Craze of Commerce. Today we are going to focus all about macroeconomics. In last video we have seen microeconomics. Micro means related to small, related to individual unit. Now macro is exactly opposite of micro. Macro means it is a study of aggregate unit. Like macro, the word macro means large, study of large units. It is a branch of economics which analyzes the entire economy. As we saw in microeconomics, it used to study only about single individual. For example, if you take salary of a single person is a study of microeconomics, micro, microeconomics. But study of a national income is a macroeconomics. This is the major difference between micro and macro. It deals with total employment, national income, national output, inflation, trade cycles, etc. So it is dealing with everything which is related to economy at a large, not making it partitions or not separating it, but taking everything together and studying. This is what is macroeconomics. Thus you can say it is an aggregate study. Aggregate means overall study, not a individual study. Now, what definition says is, definition of macroeconomics. Macroeconomics deals with functioning of economy as a whole. Now macro is a broader concept. We have to think in a broader sense how the economy is going to function altogether. Now let's move further with the scope of macroeconomics. Now basically the scope of macroeconomics is divided into four. First is theory of income and employment, theory of general price level and inflation, theory of economic growth and development, macro theory of distribution. And further, the theory of income and employment is divided into theory of consumption function and theory of investment function, which together is a theory of business cycle. Okay, let's study in detail. First is theory of income and employment. Now it explains the factors which determines the level of national income and employment. That means what factors are going to affect your national income as well as your employment. For example, now see, your national income means income of your whole nation. It is a combination of consumption, means what you consume, then investment, then government expenditure, export and import. This all factors togetherly is a national income. So theory of income says you or tells you that how your national income will get affected. Next is you can say income is also grouped as savings plus consumption. How? When people receive income, they spend most of it, right? When you're receiving some income, you spend most of your income in your expenditure. You want to buy some or the other things, and the rest of the money which is remaining, that you transfer as a part of your savings. So you can say your income is a combination of saving plus consumption. That means the national income looks after various parameters, and these parameters are like your consumption, your investment, then your government expenditure, export, import, saving, etc. This is what is national income. Now employment. Now which factors are going to determine the employment level? Like if your economy is good, if your economy is good, that means job will flourish, or you can say job opportunities are going to increase, employment level is going to increase. That means your business is in a boom period, it is in a profitable period. Or you can say if the changes in the consumer taste. If there is some change or some change in the fashion of consumers, what is going to happen? The demand for that product or service is going to affect. And once it is going to affect the demand for the product and service, what is going to happen? The employees in the organization will call out for the strikes or layoffs. And when they are calling for the strikes, layoff, some of the employees are being removed from the organization. That means what is going to happen? Unemployment rate is going to increase. So this is what macroeconomy studies. It studies the theory of income, it studies the theory of employment. It is a very important aspect of macroeconomics. And this boom period in the business, sorry, recession period in the business, this everything is a business cycle. Means when your business is earning profit, there is going to be more employment, there is going to be consumption, people are going to spend more. But if business is facing some problem, that means indirectly it is going to affect your economy. Second is theory of general price level. Microeconomics tells us how the price of the product is determined and why the fluctuation takes place, or you can say why there is inflation or deflation in the economy. Inflation means sudden rise in the price of any product. Why this happened? This happened because there are changes in the demand and supply of a product. So because of the change of the demand and supply of product, there is going to be changes in the price. So this is what we are going to study in macroeconomics. Next is theory of growth and development. It explains the causes of underdevelopment and poverty. See, whenever you think about growth and development, poverty aspects comes into the picture, or you can say underdevelopment of any country or development of any country. So growth and development theory always focuses on or explains why there is poverty in a country. It suggests the means and ways to accelerate the growth and development, and it also tells us that how or what measures can be taken so that the economy will grow. Next is macro theory of distribution, which focuses on the rent, wages, interest and profit in the total national income, and the total scenario it will focus on. Next is features of macroeconomics. Features of macroeconomics. By mistake it has happened microeconomics. It is not micro, it is macroeconomics. Okay, see, the first feature is study of aggregate. Now we will have a comparative study over here. In microeconomics, what we saw, that it is a study of an individual unit. Individual means single unit. But macroeconomics is a study of aggregates. It studies the economy as a whole. Next is income theory. It studies the concept of national income and its different elements, methods of measurement. It deals with aggregate demand and aggregate supply. It explains the causes of fluctuations in the national income. Now, income theory, as I said you before, national income. Now, what are the factors of national income? Consumption, investment, government expenditures are there, import, export. These all are the factors of the national income. Now, because of this, there is going to be changes in your national income, in the total income of an economy. So macroeconomics studies aggregate demand and aggregate supply. It studies not only individual income, but it studies the income of a whole nation. In microeconomic, it was a study of single, or you can say single products demand, single products supply, but this is a study of aggregate demand and aggregate supply. Next is general equilibrium analysis. It deals with economy as a whole. See, some points are repeating again and again, but you have to understand that macro is related with aggregate or whole, and micro is related with single unit or small unit. So general equilibrium says that it deals with economy as a whole, then it deals with the behavior of the demand, supply and the prices of the whole economy and not the single unit. Interdependence. Now every factor is interdependent with each other. There is a linkage between every variables. Example, change in the level of income, level of output, employment and eventually the level of economic growth. Now see, if sales is going to fall, that means production is going to fall. If production falls, that means employment level falls, and if employment level falls, that means income falls. You can relate this very easily as of now because of the pandemic COVID-19. What is happening now? Demand for particular product has been decreased. Why? Because people are not having money to buy any product. So as demand is falling, that means sales is falling. As sale is going to fall, what is going to happen? Demand and sale is not there, then will any business will think of making production? No. So production is going to fall, and if the organization or the business is not going to have any production, then why will it keep unnecessary unwanted employees in the organization? It won't. So it will debar some of the employees from the organization, and if the employees have been removed from the organization, that means those employees are not going to have income, and as they are not having income, so only the demand for the product is not there. So you can say that every variable, every aspect of macroeconomics is interlinked with each other. There is no sales, so there is no production. There is no production, so there is no employment level good, and as there is no good employment level, the income in the hand of the peoples is less. Next is lumping method. We saw in microeconomics is a slicing method. Slicing method means dividing each unit into smaller parts. But lumping method means studying the each unit togetherly, studying the each unit as a whole economy. Growth models. It studies various factors that contribute to economic growth and development. So here it is going to focus which factors are going to contribute or are going to help the economy to grow and to develop. Next is general price level. It studies the average of all the prices of goods and services currently being produced in the economy. So what here they are going to focus is the goods or the services which all are being produced. What are their prices on the aggregate level? Next is policy oriented. Macroeconomics suggests suitable economic policy to promote growth, generate employment, etc. Now, as there is economic problem, or you can say there is recession, so what is going to happen? Government is going to suggest some economic policy, and with the help of the economic policy, it will be easy to promote the growth, to generate the employment level in your country. Next is importance of macroeconomics. Now here I would like to tell you that some of the features, some of the scope are mentioned in the importance also. So some points you can mix in importance, so whichever, so it is quite easy to understand the importance also. The first is functioning of an economy. It helps us to understand the behavior pattern of aggregate variable in large system. What used to happen in microeconomics? We used to understand only the behavior pattern of a particular person or particular firm. But because of macroeconomy, we will be able to understand how our nation is growing, or how the development takes place in our nation. And why this is happening? Because we in macroeconomics we study everything as a whole, we study a aggregate system. Next is economic fluctuations. It helps to analyze the cause of fluctuation in income and employment so that it will be easy to control. As I said you before also, everything is interlinked, everything is dependent on each other, interdependent. So because of that, it will be very easy to recognize why there are fluctuations in the income of the persons, and why and what kind of employment rate is there in our nation. And if it is having a very bad picture, then how to control these incomes and employment, we will be able to understand. Next is national income. Without the study of national income, it is difficult to formulate the economic policies. See, money is a very important factor, and same is the national income. If you want to study the economy of any country, first you have to study the income of that country. And because of the income, you will able to know how the economy is growing at a faster speed or at a slower speed, or what kind of developments and improvements are necessary to make your economy stronger. Next is economic development. It helps us to understand the problems of the developing countries, such as poverty, inequality of income, wealth, standard of living, etc. And as we are studying macroeconomics, that is aggregate economy, we will be able to understand what kinds of problem our nation or our economy is facing. And because of this problem, our economy is not increasing. And once we come to know these problems, it will be easy to work on it. And what kind of problems are there? Like there is poverty, there is inequality, means there is unequal distribution of income and wealth within the people. Then what is the standard of living of the people? Performance of an economy. It helps us to analyze the performance of an economy by studying national income, as it helps in comparing the production of goods and services in one period with other period. That means, suppose the there will be a comparison of your income with the 2 years. Like you can compare the year of 2018's national income with the 2019's national income. With this comparison, you will understand whether your income is increasing or it is decreasing. Or you can compare the production of goods and services. Now how much production you have done and how much you have not done, whether the graph is increasing graph or decreasing graph. Study of macroeconomic variable. Macroeconomic, as I said before, it focuses mainly on total income of a nation. Then it focuses on employment rate also. Next is level of employment. It helps to analyze the level of employment in an economy. It is a very important aspect that all the members of your economy of your country should be employed, but that is not happening in reality. So what to do to work on this topic? That is a study of macroeconomics. So I think to properly understand the difference between micro and macroeconomics, we will study here the difference. First is meaning. Now microeconomics, micro means small, macro means large. So microeconomics is going to study the behavior of individual unit, whereas macroeconomics is going to study the behavior of aggregate economy. Next, tools. Now with what help you are going to study micro and macroeconomics? So in microeconomics, you are going to take the help of individual demand and individual supply of goods and services, whereas in macroeconomics you are going to take the help of aggregate demand and aggregate supply. Now next is scope. The scope of microeconomics is demand, supply, product pricing, factor pricing, consumption, etc. And macroeconomics, it is national income, general price level, employment. These are very crucial topics and very important topics for the growth of your economy. Next is importance. Now, importance, model building, price determination, business decisions, these all are the importance of microeconomics. And macroeconomics, like economic fluctuations, study of national income, etc. In macroeconomics, there is always going to be a focus on national income. Examples, individual income, and in macroeconomics it is a national income. There is one more good example, that is study of a whole forest is a example of macroeconomics, or it is a study of macroeconomics. But in that whole forest, study of a single tree is an example of microeconomics. So from here you can clearly understand that microeconomics is a study of single tree and macroeconomics is a study of a whole forest. I hope you have understood clearly the difference between microeconomics and macroeconomics. Please do like and subscribe my channel. Thank you.